Alright, welcome back to another video. I had to bring my boy Craig back on here again. And, we're just going to have a really good conversation today. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir.
So,
no problem.
Let's just dive up into this, man. How you been? You been pretty good?
Yeah, man, just working on the grind, man. Constantly moving, just thugging it out one day at a time.
Nice.
Corporate thugging.
Business has been good?
Yeah, business is good, man. It was, around the holiday season, it usually just slows down, but I can't wait for it to pick back up at the new beginning of the year. New endeavors, new things, but at the same time, though, you're facing difficulties with anything. So whatever it is, bring it on.
Nice.
Can't enjoy, like I said the last time, you can't enjoy the sun without the rain.
Hey, absolutely. I agree. Right now we're chilling, have a little drink. So I got a question.
Sure.
All right. Why do you feel some people are more successful than others? You got a lot of people, they started almost at the same starting line, but the finish line always ends up looking a little different. And I know there's people too, like, they're going to be like, well, I had a rough start or this and that, but eventually you don't have to keep being a victim. You could eventually change, there's a lot of things you could change and your habits and just, different things like that. But what would you say is some of the things that you noticed from, because I'm sure you have a pretty good circle of people that you do business with. And then what do you feel like separates them from the people that don't end up reaching that pinnacle or that point in life that they're trying to reach?
Well, there's a different classifications in people. Some people come from a silver spoon,
right?
And so they have the advantage, right? They get a better education. They come from a better side of town and stuff like that. They already had family that made it, and they got connections and stuff like that to automatically get their kids into desired places.
Right.
But then, there are other people who don't come from as much.
Right.
All they got is like sheer ambition. And believe it or not, I believe that that's the better place to come from.
No. I see it all the time.
So like, and they even become like, they develop into more intelligent people. They just got that sheer hustle inside of them. It's installed in them.
Right.
And so I think that's the best place to come from, man. Like, they just don't give up. They don't get discouraged easily. When one door shuts, another one opens. They have that kind of mentality.
Right.
And like, I've seen it for myself, man. Like, even immigrants that come to this country, they come here with nothing, and in no time they're like wealthy.
Right.
Not rich, wealthy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and that's a different kind of, like, I'm by definition an immigrant, but I am a U.S. citizen. I was born here in this country. Yeah. But immigrants, man, I feel like they just got that hustle in them. Till they have it in them to just want more, to be more. They pray for these kind of opportunities, and how dare you to pass you up.
No, absolutely. I noticed like that. Like, a lot of people that come from some type of struggle or different
right.
background like that. It's almost like they're more motivated. They're more motivated to get shit done, and they're more aggressive to jump on opportunity.
Fact.
And
I think, like, at the end of the day, from a human perspective, like, we all got a brain, we got two hands, and we got legs.
Right.
Well, the majority of, unless you're special needs, but we got that. And I think if you want it bad enough, if you really want it bad enough, we all go through our process, like I stated before. But if you want change bad enough, man, you're gonna do what's necessary.
Right.
You're gonna make those sacrifices. You're gonna make those decisions, and you're gonna know when it's time to stop fucking around and get real serious about your craft and perfecting it. And you know, when shit needs to get done, you're gonna have to, you know, to tighten up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I read a lot of books, you know, and I've actually, you know, the books I always started off reading were, I've read tons of books on how to get rich. I've read books on success, some of the most successful people in the world. I read their biographies, and what I noticed is, you know, when I was searching for all this, I was always looking for like a shortcut almost, right? And when I'm going through all these freaking books, I realized there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to, you know, unless you were doing something illegal, which is not even worth it, because then you run across the
there is no shortcut.
Yeah, the law is taking it from you. So it's not even worth going through all that and doing it the legal way. But what I noticed is there's no shortcut. You have to put the work in first before you get the rewards. You got to pay the price in full before you get the rewards. Yeah. And there's a book I actually read by author Brian Tracy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but Brian Tracy.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm a big reader myself, man. You know, I just don't look like it, but I do like to fill my mind up with information.
Yeah. And I remember he gave. And Brian Tracy is like literally to me like one of the top tier dudes, because when I listen to his talks or even his books, he's thorough. He's really thorough with everything. And one thing he was saying on one of the talks was like, he's like, success is a lot like baking a cake. He goes, you can have, you know, it takes certain habits and skills and stuff. And he goes, the cool thing about these habits and skills is if you're missing just one of these skills or habits, it's enough to completely derail your success. And he goes,
that cake ain't coming out the way it needs to.
Exactly. Like with a cake, if you're missing one ingredient, right, it's not going to taste right. Right. And he was saying that, what was he saying on there? He said, the good thing though is, he goes, all these skills are learnable. It's like if you could learn to drive a car, you could learn any of these skills and obtain them. So it kind of stuck with me and stuff. And I was like, dang. And I remember he wrote a book, like I think it was like 21 Habits of the Most Successful Millionaires or Billionaires out there. And it was really interesting. And I usually go through a lot of his checklists a lot. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And I continuously try to critique my habits. And you know, to this day, I'll write down like some of my bad habits, and I'm like, all right, I gotta eliminate this. Yeah, you gotta stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
You gotta make the most of your time. It's 24 hours in a day.
Right.
You know, and so if you have to adjust, then do so. Yeah. Like I had to make some adjustments recently when it comes to me, like my workout regimen. Okay. And so, for instance, I used to usually get off work, or when I come home, I go out and work out. Okay, but it doesn't. At the end of the day, I notice myself still tired and drained. You know what I'm saying? And I still got to go find the will to go get up and lift these weights. I don't want to lose all the work I put in. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to lose that. But so what I did was I started waking up earlier. I wake up earlier, 5:45, no later than 6:30. Hit the gym for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Get to work, come back, take a shower, get ready, gotta go. I'm out the door again, and I'm gone for the rest of the day. And by doing that one small switch up, I was able to free up so much. I noticed that my mind feels more at ease. I can deal with people much more easier. Gotcha. You know, I can get more done. So
all that kind of came from like adjusting your schedule as far as going to bed earlier and probably waking up a lot earlier.
Yeah. Nice. Because I got to give my body adequate time to rest.
Absolutely.
You know, so people say that rest is not important. Yeah, it really is if you care about your body. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you care about your mind. Your mind needs to be able to function. Your body needs to be able to function. And I work my ass off, and I put it in the work in different places. But you know, this tension that still builds up. Mm-hmm. Right, there's tension that still builds up. So every now and again, I like to treat myself and relax with a nice drink. You know. Hey,
that's out of all the books I always read about the most successful people. They wake up early as fuck. Mm-hmm. They get up at fucking 4:30 in the morning. Shit, I know fucking Eric Thomas gets up at like 3:30 in the morning every day. Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy? Well, I want your thoughts on this too. motivation is something that you're not just going to have every fucking day. Like, it's impossible to just every single day be motivated. But it's more about self-discipline, being basically a disciplined individual, you know, because there's going to be days you wake up, I'm sure you're like, fuck, I don't feel like doing this. But at the same time, you're a disciplined professional, and you have to, you know, to be a discipline. You got to remember,
a lot more is on the line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you keep that in your mind. It's too much on the line. It's too much you work for. It's too much at risk. You know, for your ass not to get the fuck up,
man.
And say fuck it. You can't do that. You got to know what to give a fuck about and what not to give a fuck about. And I think your personal health and mental wellness and accomplishing what you want to achieve and everything like all that thing. Those are the type of things you need to. That you don't buckle with that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't buckle whatsoever. You go after it and you do what you got to do and you make the proper adjustments. Don't lose sight of the goal, but you just make the proper adjustments to accommodate what you need to.
Makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, it's crazy. A while back, it was almost like an educational site I started. It was for photographers that wanted to learn photography, and it was called photostratinc.com, right? And
I remember you was doing that.
Yeah, I was making freaking courses, ebooks, all that type of stuff, learning material.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was with my kid's mom at the time. We were, I was engaged to her, and we just had 2 little ones. So it was hard to, work a job, manage that, and then, to build that website. And I ended up building it up to, I want to say about almost 5,000 subscribers within about a year, which is really good. But how I had to do it, I had to readjust my life, because a lot of the time the only time I had to work on it was when they were asleep. So I was like, okay, I have to get up super, super early. And, I readjusted. So I started researching, and I came across something that I actually practiced for a little bit. It was called, you ever heard of polyphasic sleep?
Nah, go ahead.
Okay. Polyphasic sleeping is basically where you only sleep 4 hours in a day, right? And the thing is, you start to get your body used to that first before you do it, because when you first start doing it, it's like...
Oh, I did that shit for years.
Yeah. It's
years at a time I did that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes less, and I would go. But that was before I realized that shit is not healthy for you, bro.
Yeah. The thing was that if done right, it could be okay for you and stuff like that. Because with polyphasic sleep, you sleep 4 hours, but the trick was later in the daytime, say like 3:30 or 4, you have to stick to a nap, which was like, I want to say like maybe about a 25-minute nap to 30-minute, and nothing past that, because if you go past that, you'll crash and all that stuff. So
I probably would think that you probably, when it comes 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever, you're already crashing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of time too is you're supposed to stick to that nap time every single day. So if you're out with your friends, say you're doing business, you got to be like, oh shoot, I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna take my nap. And the thing was, that's what was kind of difficult, but the first 2 or 3 weeks of it, you go through a process of where you're like super groggy. You get bags under your eyes. Your eyes are red. You're just, you know how it is when you're super tired. It's almost like you're all foggy.
Right.
And what's crazy is after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks of staying consistent on this, the bags go away. The red eyes and the fogginess clears up, and your body begins to adapt to it.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's
I would think so.
Yeah.
But I look at it like, not to say that what you were doing was wrong. Everybody has their own way. But I'm just like, yo, I don't have the fucking time to be getting crashing during the middle of the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got shit to do. I got to go. And deals are closing. Money is on the line. Kids get out of school, shit like that. Can't be taking no nap in the middle of the day, brothers. Not when the sun is out. Get you some adequate rest at night. 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Is what an average adult requires.
Yeah, absolutely.
And go to bed a little early if you need to, and then get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Handle your business.
For me, it worked for a while. I want to say I did it for about 5 or 6 months. I did it, and what made it hard was because I was, I'm working a 9 to 5 or whatever, and then, your lunchtime switches up sometimes, and for me, I would try to make my lunchtime my nap, basically. And then it got too hard to maintain, but it did, I'm not gonna lie, it did help me tremendously because it opened up so many more hours within the day for me to get shit done, where I was almost done, like, getting stuff done, so much done within, by it'd be like 10 a.m., 9 a.m., and people are just barely waking up, and I got all this shit done. But I eventually went back to what's called monophasic sleeping, which is what we do now, which is the 7 hours, 8 hours sleeping and stuff. But I definitely know
them little power naps though they'll be life. Yeah, 30-minute naps, man. 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you can squeeze that in there somewhere, that's some juice for you, you know. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They be feeling really good once you get up and going.
So let's talk a little bit about real estate and stuff, because I know you work a lot with real estate investments and everything like that. And the way the world's going right now, you know, it's almost like they are trying to, you know, you're either gonna be poor, or you're gonna be rich. They're almost like they're doing away with middle class. As far as that, how do you feel about, you know, real estate, getting into that, and as far as, you know, is that something you feel like you could still, someone could just jump into and still become a millionaire within about let's say a 5 to 7 year span?
Absolutely. Most definitely. I'm not going to say it's bulletproof, but because we have had a recession before back in 07, 08, 09, I don't know if you remember. Yeah. You know, I did mortgages straight out of high school. You know, I was fortunate enough to gain some experience and, you know, have the right people around me. We could see this crash coming. But Texas versus the rest of the country was pretty stable.
Right.
You know, and even to this day, we just got out of an equity boom, and so I had several properties that I owned, and I let go of all of them. Some of them I kept, and I just pulled the cash out of them, which means I refinanced it.
So let's say with Texas, like you said, okay, so Texas is a good place right now for real estate, right?
Right.
Eventually, that's gonna, you know, people are gonna start jumping on the train.
Florida, Jacksonville, Tampa, you know, other places of the country. Like,
so do you feel like once so many people, because obviously a lot of people that are, say, like in real estate are getting into it, eventually it's gonna get super saturated. Say like how Los Angeles and California got. Do you feel like eventually Texas is on its way to catching up to what's like?
I think it's saturated with real estate agents. Everybody wants to be a real estate agent, but because all you got to do is just take a class and, you know, put your hours in and go take a test.
But just because they're doing that doesn't mean they're actually putting in the footwork.
No.
Every single day.
No.
Focusing on it and just.
First of all, it's pretty hard being a real estate agent. You got to form the connections and you got to build the trust with clients and stuff like that to give them your listing.
Yeah.
Right. And convince them why I should give you my listing. Right? Because I'm an investor. I invest into real estate. I'd rather own the property than trying to sell the property.
Right.
But I'll be the agent, because, you know, but I look at it. You have options once you own real estate. And you got to know those options and how to play it. It's a game.
I see.
It's a game. You got to learn the game. Know the game. The game comes in so many ways, but you got to. The more game you know, the more game you can run. The more game you can, you know, the more outlets you have. Let's just say for this, you go buy you a piece of real estate. Go buy you a property.
Right.
You fix it up. You know how to turn yourself into your own bank. Right. So
elaborate on that a little bit more.
Which means you can own or finance the deal, right? You can charge 20-25% up front of the value of the property as a down payment. Right, and extend that note for the course period of 10 years, 15 years at what interest rates right now at 6%, 7%. You know what I'm saying? If they default on the payment, you have the down payment in your pocket. And you got the property.
Dang.
You know?
Yeah.
Take that down payment and go buy you 2 or 3 more properties. Now your value is going up.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, like I said, and if you do that over the course of time, imagine what you can do. You see what I'm saying? You can turn yourself into the bank, like legit.
That's cool. I like that concept too.
You know, and plus I played it the other way, where, you know, I didn't do that. I went the way how I got started, man, was like, of course, I maintained my credit because I'm big on credit.
Absolutely.
I went and took myself out alone for X amount of dollars, and I put that in 2 properties. Bought myself 2 properties. That was like when I first started. At the same time, I didn't do 1. I did 2. I just jumped right in.
I remember you telling me about that.
You know, and best decision I ever made in my life. Best decision I ever made in my life. Those 2 properties that I made at that age, at that time, allowed me to get out of so much shit and propel my future, and really had a big part in dictating which direction I was going to go.
Man, I remember you telling me about this, and at first you were like, dang, man, I got 2. And you're like, damn, I ain't over my head. And then it ended up working out for you.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, because I could have either put that on the market. I could have probably made between, if I would play, depending on how the deal would play out, I'd probably made like 60, 80K. But, profit after it sold on the market. But, okay, so let me just think about all the options I can do. You know what I'm saying? Before I jump into that.
What I noticed,
the money up front sounds good, but hold on. There's got to be a better way. You see what I'm saying?
What I noticed is you didn't have a fear of like, shit, what if I lose this? Or what if this doesn't work out? You kind of were like, fuck it, like I'm gonna get this done. Like it's almost like a lot of people.
Man, because want to know why I didn't have that fear?
Why?
I've been taking chances my whole life.
So would you feel like that's crucial to success as far as?
Hell yeah, you gotta lose the sense of fear. Yeah. Don't be scared to fail. You can fail, but at least with failure you gain learning experience.
Absolutely.
And the next go around, you know what not to do. So I don't look at it as something wrong if it didn't go right the first time. You just learned your lesson. Recoup yourself. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself back together and then go at it again. But go about it a different way.
I like that. See, Craig's dropping gems on here, y'all. So I hope y'all out there taking notes on this, because, hey, some good stuff we're talking about today.
Yeah.
To switch subjects a little bit. I know everyone's familiar with like the Tom Brady situation right now, and his wife is she basically left him because he didn't want to stop doing football and everything like that. What are your thoughts on that right there? Because for me, it was kind of like, I don't blame him. Like, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm not. I mean, as men, we have duty. We have to stay. We have to stay on top of things and everything. Like, I feel like if he just completely did exactly as she said, like, eventually she probably would have lost respect for him. Because if he kept doing just whatever she said, it's like, and I don't know. I just feel like he did the right thing.
Stop doing what you love to do, right? That makes you feel good, love, and it's your passion. Don't ever stop that shit for nobody.
Nice. So you agree with Tom Brady's decision to be like, hey,
no female is worth that.
Because she left him for that stuff, and he's like, he kept going with it, and he actually, didn't they go to the Super Bowl, or he ended up taking his team there? Yeah, and it's like,
he's greatest of all time.
Yeah,
to play that game. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes, longest lasting QB.
Shoot,
and that's one motherfucker that you don't bet against when he's in a game. You got Tom Brady on the field, and he playing against your team. It's always like shit.
He's a strategist.
Well, he knows you don't count him out. He knows how to come back at the last minute.
Yeah.
That's a high caliber guy right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He perfected his craft, and he went the long run.
Yeah.
He played it the long way. So for his woman, she had her own money and everything. She was a supermodel and everything like that. But she wanted him to retire after a certain amount of time, X, Y, and Z. And look, man, I think that's selfish. Right. You know what I'm saying? That is very fucking selfish.
Especially like all these years they were together. And it's like, really? Like, you couldn't just... I mean, eventually he's on his way to retirement.
Well, look
at some
it like this
point,
too. At the same time, man, like football season don't last all year.
Yeah,
it's only a few months out of the year. And then you're off for another 6-7 months.
Right.
And I could spend that much time with the family and everything, but after that, shit, it's time to go to work. You know, no matter how long it takes, man. I want to do this. This is what I love to do.
You know what that brings me back to is there's another book that I read. It was called The Way of the Superior Man, and this book was really, really good. I wish I read this, earlier in my life. Because,
I got that.
You got it?
Yeah.
Did you check it out yet, or you're on your way to reading it?
No, I because I'm the type of reader that likes to read multiple things.
Oh, okay.
And so I will get into the book. Then I'll pick up another one.
Gotcha.
And then go back and finish it, and then go back and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was definitely going in the direction where it needed to be.
There's a certain thing when I was reading that, because I read it, I want to say like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, and I wish I read it early on in my life, because there's certain mistakes when I was reading it, I was like, dang, I shouldn't have done that, or in the past or something. But there was one thing that really resonated with me, and in the book it said, purpose over everything. Everything. Your purpose is over everything. Even your spouse or whoever you're with, your purpose has to become first. Because if say for example, if your spouse or whoever it is could get you to stop doing whatever it is that your purpose
she'll stop respecting you, bro.
You said it, and it says in the book, she will lose respect. She'll be happy for the moment, but eventually she will lose respect.
You gotta really study women, man. You know what I'm saying? If you've had enough women in your life, and if any real man can admit they've been hurt before, they analyze what happened.
Right.
And that's just what we do. Mm-hmm. We analyze and we see the bigger picture of things. So if you don't learn from your lessons, motherfucker, you banging your head against the goddamn curb too much.
100.
You know? So learn from your lessons. Understand women, right? Understand their nature and how they operate and stuff like that. That could either make women deter away from you or draw them into you, depending on how you play it. But, you got to know, like, if she can convince you of stopping you from doing what you really love to do, and you making bread with this, and you providing for your family, and this is giving you a future, but somehow these fucking woman words just stop you from your purpose, she gonna lose respect for you, bro. 100.
And that's a big note. Like, anyone watching this, purpose comes before everything. You have to, you're that's why you're here. You doing it for whether it's God or your bloodline or your ancestors.
Man, I hate to say it that way. It even trumps your kids.
And it has to, because you got to take care of your kids at some point.
If I can't take it, and at the same time, if I can't take care of me, I look at it like, if I can't take care of me and do what I love, I'm not taking care of me. And if I can't take care of me, I can't take care of everybody else properly.
Basically, you're not giving your kids the best version of yourself.
Right.
There you go. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
I gotta take care of me, man. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself so you can take care of everybody else properly.
Which leads us into our next topic, mental health.
Facts.
Okay. So as far as mental health, all right. Now this is, probably going to cause a lot of controversy and everything like that. But as far as depression, I mean, you had that talk.
Exist. It's bullshit.
Nice. I couldn't agree with you more. I almost, with a lot of research, it looks like it was, to me, I feel like it was created by the pharmaceutical companies to keep people on pills.
Mental health in the last couple of years has taken a big toll. Those two words, and depression, that shit is thrown out here way too easily. What about mental toughness? Whatever happened to that? What happened to your mental toughness?
What happened to the, back, years back, men went through some crazy stuff. Let's say back, Viking times, or even after that, they're like, before these, pills came out in depression came out, they went through a lot of shit. Some of these people went through a lot of shit, but they didn't have medication back then, nor did they have even therapists and stuff, but they just had to go on with their day and rock up and do what they had to do. I mean, as adults, you got to do what you have to do. So it's crazy. We were talking about this earlier. When I talk to people,
I think if you're fucking feeling depressed and all this, get the fuck up, get out the house, go for a walk, run, work out.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? You'll feel so much better about yourself. Give yourself some time, and you'll snap out of it.
When a lot of time, I believe when people are hit with, let's say, depression, I feel like that's them. Their body or themselves telling themselves, look, your life is shit.
Your brain is playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
If you can't control your own brain, you ain't got control of shit.
No, 100.
You ain't got to control a motherfucking thing. Don't expect to control somebody else or try to influence somebody else if you can't even control your own brain.
Absolutely. I believe someone feeling sad and everything like that, or depressed or whatever, is a result of their life and their actions that they're doing, and their life shit. So that's something.
I know life can fucking hit you. Life can hit hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to feel sad for a little bit. Your head gonna hang down, but pick that motherfucker back up.
Yeah.
And go, because you can't. What the fuck you gonna do? Just die? You can't do that. Just get the fuck up and go. And life has to move forward.
And it's crazy because for me, I think as species, we're meant to be sad sometimes. We have to be. We have to have that feeling because that's what's that drives us to do, to get out of it and stuff like that. You don't want to. It's normal to be sad, and it's okay. And people act like, dang, just because they're sad. What's crazy is I think the fact that people sit there and measure their happiness every morning and then be like, dang, it's just so asinine. It's like get off your ass and make some shit happen. And you won't feel the same.
That goes back to not every day you feel like when you wake up, I want to do this shit, but shit, it got to be done.
Right.
So fuck all that. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all those excuses that your mind's trying to play on you. You gotta conquer that shit. And tell your brain sometimes to shut the fuck up.
No, really, it's true. Because I've read a lot of psychology books. I'm sorry, and in these books, literally, it tells you your mind is like your worst enemy sometimes. Like it'll sabotage you, it'll screw you up, but you have to be able to control that shit. And what's crazy is when I talk to people, they're like, well, no, James, no. I was diagnosed with a chemical imbalance or this and that. And for me, it came to mind is like, well, if you really analyze it, how do doctors even analyze that you have a chemical imbalance? Do they give you a fucking shot in the temple and take out some fucking, the chemical, or what's the way? I was like, there's no way really to tell how much is in there and stuff. So I started researching it even further, and I'm gonna read this real quick to you guys because it was like, so check this out. Out of a lot of research, there are no reliable tests to diagnose a chemical imbalance in the brain. Doctors can perform tests to assess the levels of serotonin and other chemicals in your blood. However, this is not an accurate representation of the amount of this that is present in your brain. So that's bullshit then. So why are they sitting here saying that
if you got a chemical imbalance, you are physically putting something in your body to alter your mind.
Absolutely.
Basically, like drugs.
What I noticed, a lot of people that are going through that shit, they're lazy as fuck.
Oh yeah, man, they're lazy as fuck.
They're sloths. Yeah. And the thing is, I believe if they started getting on their shit, like you said, maybe even working out, accomplishing some goals, they won't sit there feeling like shit no more.
They won't. You'll start gradually but surely, like you said, you witness yourself just feeling a little bit better, and then when you feel better and you feel good, that shit, it gets contagious. Let that shit overwhelm your body and your mind. Then, like I said, man, that shit is a driving force.
It's funny because I'm a lot like
overwhelm yourself with feeling good and feeling happy about who you are, how you look. You know what I'm saying, and embrace you, and you're happy to be in your own skin.
It's funny
because you put in the work. You made the sacrifices. You fucking did X, Y, and Z. Love yourself. Love thyself, man. And
it's crazy because everyone's like, well, I'm not happy today, and they want to be so happy. And my thing is like, who gives a fuck? Like, you're almost like you're not a child. Yeah, you're not a child anymore.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
You're not a child no more. You had all that when you were a kid. Now it's time to rock up and do what you have to do. And
motherfuckers are soft, man.
It's crazy, and call me crazy for this, but for me, feeling. Like if I ever wake up feeling sad or I feel too good too many days back to back, like I feel like, say some days I just feel like, some days I wake up feeling great, some days I don't. But sometimes I literally trick my mind sometimes into feeling sad. Like I'll throw on like maybe even like a sad song or some shit like that just because it motivates me to have to do stuff. And
I do that shit sometimes when I'm working. When I'm in the gym.
Yeah, and doesn't it push you and motivate you for some reason?
I don't know. I'm a weird person like that though, man. Like so,
Dang, I'm glad we can relate on that.
I'll throw on some R&B music or something while I'm in the gym with my headphones, and I start to thinking about some shit, and I'm be like, nah, hell no, I ain't going back to this place.
I do that same shit. Hey,
I ain't going back to this motherfucking place.
It's all a mind game. So
Another rep. Let's go. We got 3 more in me. I got 5 more in me. Let's go. You know, so
so we agree on that, right?
Yeah,
there.
facts.
Depression is bullshit, y'all. It's not real. All right. Which let's talk a little bit about addiction, because a lot of people are addicted. You know, at one point I'm not even gonna lie, I was addicted to smoking weed. Like, and people say you can't get addicted to smoking weed. That's cap.
Nah,
that's cap right there. You
I smoked weed for years, bro.
Yeah,
a lot of years, and I broke myself. I've been damn near 10 years. I ain't smoked a motherfucking thing. I ain't did a motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
You know, I drink a little bit every now and then, but I don't take no drugs, bro. And it would stop my productivity. Once I started doing that, my productivity went through the roof.
Oh, no, I agree.
Especially at the very beginning. Like, whoa, that clarity hit, man. You know what I'm saying? I had so much gas in the tank. I was just getting shit done. And that shit actually propelled my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It propelled my life. I gave myself that chance to just, that was
You're
at
able
that
to
point.
think quicker.
That was at that point where I didn't have too many decisions. So I got to take this chance. And luckily, shit, I just dropped some bad habits, man. I need to make some drastic changes. And so that was one of them. And, I used to sip syrup too and shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Dropped all that shit, man, and my productivity just been good, and I'm so thankful to myself for realizing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever fucking force that came upon me, that told me to drop that shit, and I did it like a bad habit.
It's not easy, but if you can stick to it,
man, it's not.
I have a theory. And for me, when I was smoking and stuff, right, I would it wouldn't give me a chance to feel. Like, if I ever would say, like, let's say if I was pissed off or if I was sad over something, all I had to do was smoke, and it would sedate me from that. All of a sudden I'd be like, I'm good, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like we need to feel those feelings, because if we don't feel those feelings, like, are what drive you, like they pretty much like kick you in the ass to freaking get in motion and do shit. Like, I needed to stop because it kept sedating me.
Men have a lot of feelings, bro.
Yeah.
But we are through society, though, we are told we can't show that shit, and nor do I even want to show that shit. Yeah. I just don't. I think it's just not manly. I don't want to hear about how you feel about this bitch. She may not be a bitch. I'm just using that in common language. You know what I'm saying? You might not be a bitch. You might be a beautiful woman. You might have a good heart and everything. I'm just like that. But look, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear about what woman broke your heart and shit like that, man. You better come to me.
Rock up and be a fucking adult.
Handle your fucking business, man.
Grow some balls and fucking be an adult, basically.
Handle your fucking business.
No, I agree with you, my man. As men, I've noticed a lot of the younger generations have lost a lot of that stoicism. Mm-hmm. And it's like, being able to put their feelings aside and do what you have to do. As a man, you have to rock up and, pretty much handle business and be an adult. Like, it's time to grow some balls and fucking do what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You got to.
Nice. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit. I want to switch up the subject a little bit, y'all.
Hold on, back to what we were saying.
Okay.
Like men,
mm-hmm.
like you got to man up and rock up. Like, just for another instance, like another scenario where it's a losing battle for men. Majority of the time is actually in family court.
Oh shit, yeah.
Man, women have the advantage when it comes to that type of situation. I know, because I went through it myself.
Talk to us, man. Talk to us.
So that that can actually, that situation right there where a man loves his kids so much, but then he risks never seeing them again or not being able to touch them and love them and tuck them in at night. That shit can drive his ass crazy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Some men, they actually commit suicide. Some men, they just self-destruct.
Yeah.
But man, like, you gotta push forward with that shit. If you keep on banging at the door every time it closes, you're gonna get what you want. You gotta disregard your emotions and you gotta keep pressing forward.
The cards are
just one scenario.
Yeah.
I'm just using that as an instance. You gotta press forward, man. You know what I'm saying, and get what was rightfully yours.
Oh yeah.
And
the cards are definitely stacked against us and that kind of stuff when it comes to going to court for custody or anything like that. They're always going to look in the favor of the mother, and it's definitely,
unless you can prove her unfit.
There you go.
And be really, man, shit. A lot of women out here are unfit mothers.
Oh, nice. Which actually brings us to our next topic.
A lot of them is unfit mothers, man.
I would argue the point that the women nowadays, and I'm not saying there's a few good apples out there, but most are not capable mothers.
Some needle in the haystack to find a good partner, man.
Yeah.
They and that shit. They use the kids as pawns. They use that to manipulate the man, the kids. They use that to gain advantage of him, have control over him, try to tell him what to do, basically try to beat him down till he surrenders. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked all the way up, because now I know the game. I know how the system works, and I got so many connections and outreach, and I know how to play this shit. This shit gonna work against you in so many different ways that you gonna wish you never met me. Got involved with me in that kind of way.
Yeah, no. You got to play the game, And the thing is, with women, like what I noticed too with women nowadays, women saying, I need me time. It gets very irritating, because I'm like, at some point, you're an adult. You have to rock up and do what you have to do. The point of having fun and going out, that shit's done. And especially when you have kids. The fact that when you have kids, it's being noble enough to take care of your children and raise them and stuff. And a lot of the women, when they want to go out or they need a break all the time, I'm like, no, you fucking don't. You don't need a break. You got to it's your job. It's your duty. Like, you have to fucking take care of your kid. Like, and that's the thing I hear just like over and over again. It's almost like they can't do it. It's almost like, I need my break, or I needed that. What the fuck? You don't need a break. Like,
but shit, man. Taking care of the kids is no easy thing, man. It's not. In all honesty, for a good woman, to raise your kids, that is a job that's not even paid.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you can put a salary on that.
It's one of the best things they could do, though, if you think about it.
It's rewarding too in the long run.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, because your kids grow up and they remember these things, and they grow up and they take care of you. That's how life should be. When kids are supposed to take care of their parents when they get older.
Yeah.
They can't move over, but when you have kids, man, it's no longer about you.
Exactly, and there you go. That's the point I'm trying to hit on, though. When you have kids, it's no longer about you. You have to be that selfishness has to go out the window. And don't get me wrong,
Don't have them if you're not ready for that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's cool to have a break. Stuff like that. But I'm seeing it like fucking once or twice a week. You're like, I need me time, and it's I'm seeing
lately I've been seeing a rise in women like abusing their children, abandoning their children, even as far as murdering their children.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're getting pushed to that point where they know that they can't step away from this lifelong responsibility.
You're right.
It requires for you to dig deep and take care of this kid. Trust me, I know it's not easy for us as fathers.
Yeah.
How you think we feel when we got to take care of all of you?
Yeah, no. But what I'm noticing too is nowadays more dads having custody than the mothers,
because they're more mentally fit. They're being proven to be more mentally fit.
Oh yeah, I've seen statistics too, and it shows that in a single household, if it's just the mother raising them, I forget the numbers, the percentage, but it's
that child grows up to possibly being on drugs, being a dropout,
going to prison,
getting in all kind of shit, and you make them emotional and shit, especially for sons and shit. You're making them all emotional and shit.
And the percentage is a lot smaller with men when men are single fathers.
Right, because we give the structure.
I agree.
We give discipline when it's necessary.
Right.
And we teach them life lessons. We teach them wisdom. A lot of there's a difference between being smart and wise.
Oh no, absolutely.
If you got wisdom, you can pass that in, install that into your children.
And a lot of the time too, it's not that they're sitting here needing me time, needing a break or anything like that. Because for me, like it's more they're going out, hanging out with another guy, trying to find another man, and it just keeps going on and on in a circle, trying to find the right guy or the right stepdad for them.
spinning in circles. You know what I'm saying? And going, hoping this shit is gonna work out. I think they if they're doing that type of shit, they really lack the ability to put in the self work.
Right.
You know, they always need this fucking, have this urge for companionship. Oh, I need somebody in my life. I got to jump from this relationship to this relationship. To me, that's a weakness.
Absolutely.
That's a fucking weakness. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know who you truly are. You don't know your purpose in life. You know, you haven't even risen to your full potential. You know, at the same time though, but if you can make it work with one man, and you love that man got your back through whatever, and y'all got a beautiful family in the household, that's strength right there. Y'all not gonna always see eye to eye.
Right.
You know,
and I think that's the biggest problem, is they think it's supposed to be like a big fairy tale. There's
I grew up on that Disney shit.
Disney, Hallmark.
This is real life.
Yes.
This is real motherfucking life. And situations occur and life happens, man. This shit is fucking retarded. People think, you know, they've been brainwashed to have this fairy tale ass fucking life that they think they're entitled to have.
100.
You know, this shit is bullshit. They've been fed that bullshit, and they still continue to listen to bullshit as they get older. We listen to shit like Megan and Beyonce and fucking Cardi B's and shit like that, and they want to be a bad bitch and Miss Independent. Bitch, you can't be a bad bitch and Miss Independent and thinking that you can have a family and kids and all that shit don't fucking align with each other.
And when you think about it, it's really a scam, the stuff that the agenda they're promoting and stuff. Because none of them girls that promote that stuff,
they're fucking hypocrites.
Yeah.
Cardi B, look at who she with. She with Offset. She had a song saying she wasn't gonna cook or clean.
She doing both.
She doing both that shit.
Beyonce said came up with the independent song and all that kind of stuff.
Look, Jay-Z cheated,
and she's still there.
She's still there. You know why? Because that's a high caliber dude. She can't find another dude that's of that caliber. You know what I'm saying? Women date up. They don't date down.
So they're basically selling a scam out there that they're not even doing themselves. Basically, they're not sticking to themselves. So
full of shit.
I think absolutely. You know, and I feel like women need men. You know, for protection. You know, provision, and just that overall.
Let a woman get into a tight situation where it causes them their safety and shit like that. Who the fuck you think they gonna run to? They gonna call a fucking cop, which is a man. They gonna fucking tell your brother, which is a man, or your daddy, which is a man. All this shit. You know what I'm saying? They turn to men for a whole bunch of shit. They don't even fucking really realize how much they need men. Men built the whole goddamn world entire around them. Built the house they live in, the car they drive in. You know what I'm saying?
The OnlyFans website that they make money on. The phone that they're using.
You know what I'm saying? Infrastructure, that men sustain. You know what I'm saying?
I was reading a study and they said if they took all the men off the earth, right? All of a sudden, let's say hypothetically, all the men just disappeared. The first things that would happen is the power grids would go out. If they started naming all this different stuff.
If men didn't exist, women would start dying off.
Yeah, they would. They can't go and hunt and forage for food and nothing like that. And
they don't know nothing about that. A lot of them don't even know how to put gas in their own tank.
Yes.
Cardi B. They're not building. Women ain't building infrastructures. They ain't building buildings. They ain't building cities. They ain't building houses. They ain't building cars. They ain't doing none of that shit. I'm trying to sound sexist, but that's just not what y'all fucking do.
Yeah, they're good at other things. And as far as that, it's just what it is.
You are designed to fucking find a man, procreate with that man, be a wife to that man, take care of your children. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all have y'all rights and everything now and everything like that, but y'all letting it go to your head, and really it's working against you. Women wanted to be so equal to men so fucking badly, just to go pay taxes, just like how we do.
And they get pissed off and they hate it now. It's like.
You want to go
screwed themselves.
Screwed them fucking selves.
And you know what? It is crazy because I was actually reading in that book, the one that I actually just read, and it was saying how the government actually benefits more from single parent households because for one, instead of taxing one household, now they get to tax two.
Yeah.
So they're pushing that agenda.
That shit, they brainwashed them, played the game on them so good that they can't even see it.
In real time, you've seen it happen. It's destroying families and just
family.
More women are more depressed now than ever and on meds and shit like that, and it's crazy.
Oh yeah, they on all kind of shit. They are from how many men they let run up in them. You know, relationships ain't working out. They keep giving their body up. They got all these psychological issues and all this other shit. And shit ain't working out with your job. You hate what you do. You've accumulated all this debt in your life. Now you need a fucking Superman that's wealthy to come bail you out of it. Bitch, fuck you.
Yeah, and psychologically, the more men that they're with, it actually damages their ability to feel. Yeah. So so it's
no, they be looking. They're delusional, man. They be looking for this. They want this top tier guy, 1%er, you know what I'm saying, who's wealthy and shit like that. But honestly, man, like, you didn't you didn't go through the struggle with that motherfucker. You didn't help him build his shit, you know. Why do you expect to fucking reap the benefits?
Right.
You know, of what he built and thrive off of it? Like, no.
So, before we end this out, I want to just touch base on one more thing, and the reason being is because I feel like these guys deserve, some attention shined on this right now at the moment, because not enough people are actually talking about it. But let's talk about the Tate brothers for a second. The Tate brothers, right now, as y'all know, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are locked up right now in a Romanian prison right now under false allegations that yet there has been no evidence brought up. Hold up. Let me see. There we go. So there's been no evidence brought up. There's been no charges put against them, and also from what I know, Andrew Tate hasn't even been able to see his lawyer, which I know that's invading human rights right there. So, what are your thoughts on the Tate brothers right now?
Andrew, for one, a lot of women don't like that motherfucker because of how many points he points out. The only thing that they want to just say is that, oh, he hates women, all this other shit. No, the fuck he don't. I don't think he hates women at all. I think he's a very intelligent dude. He knows how to articulate his words well. I think he's savvy business wise, and he's had such a influence around the world, like, of helping men realizing and recognizing their true value.
A lot of people too, that when they say they don't like Andrew Tate, they never actually listen to anything in full length. They kind of listen because a lot of people don't like him, so they'll chop up clips of something and to make him look bad. But if you listen to him in full length, there's nothing really he says that's really out of line or bad. I've actually asked somebody before, and it was actually this one chick where me and my friend were talking about him, and she was like, y'all like him? And I was like, you don't? And she was like, no, he's misogynist, or he's this and that. I'm like, well, what did he say that you didn't like? And she literally was like, well, let me get back with you on that. And she came back, literally probably Googled some stuff.
Right.
And was like, she came up with some stuff that literally was chopped up in small clip and to make him look bad. But when you go back to listen to the original full-length clip, he doesn't really say anything that's like really bad. Like, I don't know. He just states actual facts. And I think people...
bandwagon shit.
Yeah.
So... women are like that, though. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, yeah, me too. I don't like it either.
How do you feel about their arrest? Do you feel like it's there needs to be some justice, or do you feel like they need to be let go, or what do you think?
Well, like I said, man, he is an educated guy. He articulates his words well. He's savvy with the business, and so he has worldwide had a influence in helping men realize their true value and the power that they truly hold.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of men didn't think that way for a long time, and they are the providers. They are the caregivers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They do build the homes. They do build these cities. They do all these amazing things. And don't let nobody take that away from you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy is, because he's just like he's a men's advocate, in a sense. And
I'm not anti-woman, but I'm
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know, if you notice this, anyone that's like a man that comes out there as a men advocate, whether it's him or whether it's Kevin Samuels, they literally cancel them, have them murdered, silenced, or something, and it's
can't
crazy.
Handle that shit. They don't like that shit. The powers don't like that shit.
Think about this. Think about how many talk shows they have as far as women advocates or just women shows out there, as far as Red Table Talk, The View, all that type of stuff. You can't name one.
They talk about all kind of fake shit.
Man, we don't have one out there for men. There's not one. And when there is, they literally cancel them, or they label them misogynist, or there's all these buzzwords that they throw out, and they just literally try to do away with it. And for me, it's just like, it was refreshing, because when Andrew Tate first came out and I heard all this stuff, it was almost confirmed a lot of the stuff that I felt was like, you know, was legit and true, because when I used to say certain things, people would be like, oh, you can't say that, and it was like, dang, I got to a point where I was like, damn, I wouldn't say certain shit around people, and then I thought, what the fuck, like when I started hearing him, I was like,
think it's gonna happen?
Yeah. Like, so no, it was I feel like
speaking your truth, man.
Yeah, no, I feel like they need to let these guys out, because like I said, there's been a lot of evidence shown that the two girls that accused him of, you know, that they found text messages and WhatsApp and everything, false reports, and
they be lying their ass off.
Yeah,
lying their ass off so they could just have some shit done to somebody and be malicious. Ain't got nothing else better to do with your fucking life.
Crazy. It is. Yeah. It's insane. But no, I think we had a great talk today, my man.
Facts.
I want to thank you again for coming on the show with me.
Man, always a pleasure to have you, man. You know what I'm saying? I like being around you.
Nice.
I'm always willing to support you. You're going to see more of me, I think.
Oh, for sure. We're going to do many more.
Controversial shit, but I don't give a fuck. Say something. You know, so, you know, but always a pleasure, man. Like I said, I'm always willing to help people, though. I do. Man or woman, doesn't matter, man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to do some business, let's make something happen.
Nice. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. I appreciate the support. If you get a chance, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this conversation that me and Craig had. I will respond to each and every single person out there, and y'all have a great night.